Days without water along the sun-soaked road. We crossed over borders, get where we are, and it's all for you.
Hello everyone, Liliana from Vanilla and Canela here. Welcome back to my channel, to another video and to Vlogtober. I hope you're all doing well. It is 3:30 on Saturday. You would have noticed by now that there's no video out. I am going to film this Q&A for you right now and then upload it a bit later. We just got back from staying with family down in Wiltshire, which was amazing. But no matter how comfortable you are somewhere else, is there anything better than coming home knowing that you're going to sleep in your own bed with your stuff around you? I don't think there is. So anyway, I've written down the questions that you asked me and I'm just going to go through them. There was quite a few that were the same subject, so I just grouped them together. I'm not going to say anything like, oh, Louise asked this or John asked that. I'm just going to answer the questions, okay? And hope that it doesn't get too long. Okay, a big subject always, and this time was no different. It's Portugal, okay? So I grouped all the Portuguese questions together. What do I miss about Portugal? Do I go very often? Do I get homesick? Plans to visit Portugal, my mum and dad. Would I like to live in Portugal? Okay, so what do I miss about Portugal? Aside from my family and friends, I miss the food the most, definitely, 100%. Do I go very often? No, I don't. Before I had children, we used to go, and those were in the good old days where you could get a flight for Paul and I for 50 quid return, you know, from Stansted or somewhere like that. These days it's a bit harder because obviously there's 4 of us. There's also, it was very easy for my mum and dad to put me and Paul up, but now there's 4 of us, and they don't quite have the room. There's other things involved as well. So when I used to sort of fly over, my brother would pick me up from the airport and then he would drive us about. I mean, even after, there was a time where we used to rent a car, but the cars now are so expensive to rent as well. So for us, going to Portugal is no longer a 50 quid journey. There's a lot more to it. We would have to rent a house to stay, rent a car, the flights, put our car somewhere. It's a whole thing. I speak to my parents very often and I see them on Skype, the same with my some of my other family. So at the moment we have no plans to go back. Maybe next year, maybe, we don't know. Do I get homesick? Yes. Not as much as I used to. I have now been here in the UK for 24 years. I came over when I was 22, so I've lived in England and Northern Ireland for 3 years, longer than I was actually at home. But I was born and raised in Portugal. Like I said, I was 22 when I moved. So yeah, I do really miss it. There's little triggers. Something will trigger. I still follow my town on Facebook or something like that, and I will see places that I grew up, sorry, I can't even talk, grew up knowing really well, changing. If I see photos of people, I always try and find out if I know them. And the honest truth now is I don't really know anyone apart, again, from my family and very few friends, because a lot of people that I grew up with no longer live there, all that kind of stuff. Would I like to live in Portugal? Now, in case you guys, some of you don't know, we actually have a house in Portugal that we purchased, I think it's almost 13 years ago. At that time, we did not have any children. We did not think we were going to have any children due to fertility issues with me. So our plan was always to, when Paul finished his 22 years in the Air Force, he would come out and we would retire to Portugal. We could get like little job, mortgage paid, you know, and live off his pension, you know, and again, have a part-time job or something like that, have the easy life. Obviously, we had Alex first, completely unexpected, as you guys probably know by now. And I mean, let's not even, Ozzy was like the best surprise ever. He's only 2. So Paul actually will have done 22 years in the Air Force next year. And he's actually, we've decided that he can stay in until he does 30 years. That's the plan right now. And right now that can change. Okay. So I don't want to get in too much detail, but so if he stays for 22 years, he will get a pension immediately. If he stays longer than that, he'll get the pension when he comes out. And obviously, the longer he stays, the better the pension. And we have a 2-year-old, as you guys know, as well as a 9-year-old. So right now, and in this economy, we are staying in for the 30 years. If we decide in 3 or 4 years' time that he wants to come out and get another job or something like that, then we'll decide then. But for now, our plans is for him to stay until the 30 years, and then we'll see where the boys are at. We always thought that we would go to Portugal, but now I don't know, because unless the boys want to come with us, I don't know if I would just leave the boys here and go. Well, definitely couldn't leave Ozzy, because he'll be 10 when Paul comes out, but Alex will be 18. Right now I can't actually deal with the fact that I would leave them behind. So I don't know. We have different possibilities. Either we sell our house in Portugal, or we keep a house in Portugal and try and buy something else here if we can afford it with this market. Who knows? You know, our life is very much up in the air. We don't have like proper ideas of where to go. Sorry if I went too far with that. Oh. Someone asked me, do you still have the stick insects and how are they doing? We do. One of them died. We had 3. We now have a male and a female. They're doing really well. They are really boring pets. I'm sorry. We pick them up and we have them in our hands and whatever, but you know, they don't do very much. Alex likes them, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's Paul and I that have to do everything to, you know, to clean their little thing and hold them and all that kind of stuff. But they are still okay. They are doing okay. One died, like I said. Would you like to have more children? Stop it. I am 46 years old. I think I put a little emoji to the person who asked me this question. No. I mean, if you look back to some Q&As I did a few years ago, one of you guys asked me that then, and we had no plans. First of all, we weren't even supposed to have Alex, let alone Ozzy, you know. But we're done. You know, having a baby at 40, I was 44? Yeah, just over 44. It's been a lot. You know, my mum was a grandmother at 44. My brother had kids, even though my brother's younger than me, he had kids before me because I wasn't even supposed to have kids again. So yeah, it's a no. It's a no, you guys. Is Paul still doing his artwork? Yes and no. So ever since having Ozzy, he kind of put that to the side, you know, like I always feel like the first 2 years are pretty much survival. We've been very lucky that he started sleeping the night from like 5 months old, but he's a lot of work, and by the time we get him to bed and get Alex to bed, we just want to chill out and watch a bit of TV and then go to bed ourselves because we'll be up at 6:30 in the morning. So he does still dabble, and he's also like drawing a bit more instead. You know, he did his little oh, you can see them there, look. His little stone houses. You guys know what I'm talking about. The houses, his artwork. So he does still do it. He hasn't in a little while. I know. I've noticed in the recent few months he's starting to come back more. He's doing a lot more drawing and messing around with paint and things like that. But he has sort of paused it because our main priority are the boys, you know, and Alex has lots of homework. You guys know, but it's something that he would love to do as a little job, as a part-time job, you know, one day. How does Paul feel about YouTube? Okay, so when I first started it, he was like, don't know. He didn't know whether or not I was going to stick to it. He didn't think it was worth me doing. But he always, and this is something about what he always supports me whatever I decide to do. At first, and I don't know if you guys, I was going to say if your husbands are like this, but not everyone is like that. But Paul's first answer to everything would be a no. No. Do we need new sofas? No. You know, do you want something to eat? No. That would always be his first reaction to everything. So when I talked about YouTube, he was like, oh, new thing, new change, no interest. But now he's a great supporter. Sometimes where there have been a couple of times where I thought, oh, is it really worth me doing this? He's always like, it is really worth it. And especially since there's been a financial incentive, you know. So that, believe it or not, you guys, I do contribute. I do get paid by the ads that you see on these videos, and I get sponsorships, all that kind of stuff. Oh, another question was actually about sponsorships. How come I don't do as many as I used to? I was never one to do many. I'm really picky and I can't be bothered. I cannot be bothered sometimes. So I'm very, I will not do a review video on its own. Now you guys know that I do sponsorship videos with Sherry's, right? And that's a video on its own because that's a shopping haul. But if someone sends me a mug, I don't know, they want to send me a mug, could I do a 5-minute review video for a mug? Like, no. This, I always go, okay, this is what, if I want the product, I will say, I'm very interested in getting that. What I will do is I will include it in a longer video. Some companies don't want that. And I am not sort of, I'm like, okay, bye. Guys, there was a company, right? I'm not going to say who it was, but it was a toy company, a fairly well-known, I have toys, my children have toys that are from this company and I like it, okay? They got in touch with me. This was maybe 18 months or so. I think Ozzy was still like a baby. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I would love to collaborate with you. Let me know what your details are, what you expect, what you want from me. And they basically wanted to give me like 20 quid worth of toys. I had to do a video, again, 5 to 7 minutes just reviewing the toys. They wanted me to send them all my footage, the raw footage. They wanted access to do whatever they wanted with that footage. I mean, they were basically asking for like 20 quid and then all this work, you know, all these hours. I just thought, So I went back to them and I said, I'm sorry, after reviewing your terms, I don't think this is for me. And they emailed me back and they said, what was it about our terms that you didn't like? And I literally wrote them a massive email, how I thought that they were just taking the mick for 20 quid, all the work they wanted to do. They just think they can get away. I don't know. Anyway, needless to say, I did not hear back, but I would have no problem whatsoever to whatever brand it was if I think they're taking the mick, or if I have had cases where I've tried a product out and I thought I don't like it. I don't feel right about it. So I would email them back and say, I did not like the product. I can review it like I promised if you want, but it will not be something that your company will like. You're more than welcome to come and pick up the product. And yeah, I will not say I like something if I don't. I really won't. But a lot of the times I can't be bothered with the hassle of it. So yeah. So to the person who asked me about that, I rambled on a bit too much. But anyway, what else? What age? This a lot of the questions also evolved about my English. You guys think that I speak really good English, which is not my first language. Thank you very much. What age did I start learn English? Do I teach the kids Portuguese? Can Paul speak Portuguese? was English easy to learn? So let's start with the English bit. So I started in middle school, so that was what, 10? Yeah, 10 years old. I chose English. My parents let me choose between English and French, and I wanted English straight away. This is mainly because my dad listened to a lot of English/American music, and I wanted to understand what they were saying. Also, there was a lot of TV in Portugal that was in English, and what they do in Portugal is they put the subtitles. So it's still English, it's still the actor's voice, but yeah, subtitled. So I wanted to understand. And then when I became a teenager, I loved Bon Jovi and Bryan Adams. I'm showing my age, I know. And I just wanted to understand what they were saying. So it was very easy, came very easy for me to learn English because I always loved it so much, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's why. Do I teach the kids Portuguese? Can Paul speak Portuguese? Okay, I do not teach the kids Portuguese. I am not that way inclined. I don't speak Portuguese in our home. A lot of people that have or speak the other language at home is because their partner is also Portuguese. So if Paul was Portuguese, we would speak Portuguese at home, right? Therefore, our children would speak Portuguese. And literally, I speak Portuguese when I speak to my parents. That's pretty much it. Every now and again, my friends or something like that. So no, I do not teach them. I do not have the patience. Alex was never interested. He always used to cry when I tried. I do call Ozzy, like I have like little nicknames in Portuguese, and I call him bebê as well, which is baby. So there is a bit more words. And for some reason, actually, I always say good morning to Ozzy in Portuguese. When I go into his room, I always go, bom dia, bebê, which is good morning, baby. So yeah, but no, I don't. Can Paul speak Portuguese? Yes, he can. Is he perfect? No way, no way. But I cannot have a conversation in Portuguese in front of him about him. He would understand everything that's being said, and he did learn quite a lot when we first got together. So yeah, because again, our aim was always to go live in Portugal, so it was always for him to learn Portuguese. I hope that clarifies it. Now, this was a very interesting question. If you had to leave your home immediately and permanently, excluding family and pets, what 3 things would you take? This was way harder than I thought it would be. Number 1 would be my phone, because with my phone, I can access all my photos. Everything these days is done online. So it's not even, we have photos, old photos before mobile phones and things like that. But even those, quite a lot of them, we've uploaded them to like social media, like Facebook, our personal Facebook, or have them in sort of a storage. I'm trying to think of the name, the cloud or something like that. So my phone, I would take that because that gives me access to everything I need, like my bank, my photos, yeah, all of that kind of, my contact to friends. Yeah, I would take my phone. Apart from that, you know, obviously, like the question said, not including the kids and pets. Apart from that, everything is replaceable, you know, to an extent. I would be sad. Say if I lost this picture, I'd be really sad because I love it and it's been with us for many years. The same with many items that I have in my home. But if I had to go and just get out, I would take my phone, maybe my jewels. I don't even have like many jewels, but I have quite a few that my mum gave to me. So yeah, maybe I would take that as well. Yeah, that's about it. Someone else asked, do you have to move in the next year or can we stay longer? So when we moved here 4.5 years ago, it was a 5-year posting. So we would be looking to be moving soon, okay? But when we got here a year, so when I got pregnant with Ozzy, which was 2019, right? At the end of 2019, Paul got promoted the week before I found out I was pregnant. Okay. So Paul got promoted and got reposted, right? Reposted here where we are for another 5 years. So we still have 3 years left of that posting. We can move before that if we want, or if Paul gets promoted again, which I doubt it, but if he was to get promoted again soon, they'll probably get us to move. But or if you see somewhere we want to go, we can apply for that. But apart from that, we can just coast here until 2025. I'm sure that's what it is. Okay, now my last question. I hope I haven't missed anyone. I scanned through all the comments. One of you asked me thoughts on everyday life. Oh well, it's already 20 minutes. And you asked me about thoughts on marriage, money, raising children, goals, and managing the work-family balance. I would have so much to say about that. I'm going to leave this, you guys. If you really would like to know what I think, again, about marriage, money, raising children, goals, and managing work and family life, let me know in the comments to do a part 2, and I will do that at some point soon. But if not, yeah, I do have a lot of thoughts on that. I'm pretty chilled out about it anyway. But I'm going to end this here because it's 21 minutes and 36 seconds. I'm going to try and do no editing, literally just upload it and get it so you guys can see it. And we've got 2 more days, got tomorrow and Monday left on Vlogtober. I'm so glad you are all enjoying it, loving your comments. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I will see you guys tomorrow.